Don't want to leave? Want to live at Disney World? I'll make it a realty reality. Everything from Dr. Phillips to Davenport, Claremont to Kissimmee, Winter Garden or Windermere, and Disney's own Celebration and Golden Oak. I'm Realtor Victor Naraki, and this is Disney at your doorstep. Hey! Well, we've already got 27 people watching today, and I'm really appreciative of that. I was going to go live today on one of my tours of homes, and then I heard the weather forecast, and I'm really glad I didn't go. But I woke up this morning and it was beautiful. Then 12:30, bam. So anyway, so that's why I'm just going to do this, show a couple of my videos. I've got a couple things to tell you about that are new. There's a couple of months ago I was saying, I don't see any new development after these developments are completed. They're not clearing the land. They're not doing any. Well, that's all changed. There's several developments coming in. In fact, I sold at one, and they're half sold out already, and they haven't even built the models yet. They probably won't even build models there. It's been selling so fast. So, yes, yep, I'm safe. It's just a storm. It's just a storm. The weather is right now. It's just rainy, and that's about it. It's just a rain. That's all it is right now. There's going to be there's a little thunder. Yesterday, my Mickey globe that I have in front of my house, I was up here and I heard it go down. I was very disappointed. So it can be fixed. It can be fixed. Windy and overcast in the northeast. Well, it's about 70 degrees here, so we got you better. Anyway, so yes. So last week with Resort TV 1, I was out in Waterlea, and one of the things I wanted to talk about is there's actually some decent resale pricing there, which I'm very pleased about. Oh, there we go. Good afternoon. I'm new to your channel. Thanks to Resort TV 1. What do you think about Claremont and Apopka areas? I'm going to be direct with you. I know Claremont extremely well. I do not know Apopka very well. I can research it, learn all about it. I've heard very good things about it. I like Claremont, and the reason I like Claremont is its proximity to Disney World. It's at most places it's no more than 25 minutes. Some places it's a little more when you go up north. But most of my customers that I've sold in Claremont have been very happy with it. There's a new road coming in that is going to connect it easier. But right now, I can't even tell you what all I know is that it is on their list of things to do for Orange County. So let's see. Stay safe, bed storms up near the villages. Yep, I could see that. That's Adam is saying hello to Alyssa and Neil. And so anyway, what I wanted to do is talk to you. The first thing I'll do is tell you about, for example, I'm going to share this screen with you. Yada, yada, yada. There we go. Is this it? The pictures are so small, I can't see here. No, that's not it. Wait. That is it. Okay, great. All right. So this is a resale model in Waterloo, and I think this would be significantly higher if it was brand new. So it's just something to think about, that there are in these new construction communities, when the community hasn't sold out, I find that the buyers gravitate to buying it new. And it's harder to sell in those areas when you're competing with brand new. So they don't ask, usually, unless they're ridiculous, they don't ask a really outrageous price for them. So it's something to consider, that even if I'm showing you brand new, which is a lot easier for me, let's look at some of the resales that are available. And I just sold a home. It was a resale. And I wish I could show you pictures of how it's $1 million home. And there were cobwebs on the chandelier. There were 15 light bulbs in the recessed lighting that were out. The front door had mildew on it. And the lanai had all these little bug things, that nests and stuff. It was like the house had been abandoned. And guess what? There was no competition for that house. So I have learned that I just love dirty homes, because my customer, I would say, saved about $45,000 if we had gotten into a highest and best mode. Now, my broker has a listing for $2.5 million. They've got 2 offers in it in 1 week. It's spectacularly clean. I will say that the inside of this home is perfect. The inside is great. That's good, because I usually find like scratched paint on the walls, stuff like that, dirt. But I will tell you, it is you know what? When you see a home that's dirty, remember, you could probably get a better price on it, because because you're not going to get the competition, So just something to think about. But here's one, $490 in that community. I'd say if it was new, it'd be a little bit more. Well, Rapunzel's workshop. That is an excellent question. Here's what the builder will tell you. If they will ask you if you're working with a realtor, and obviously they make more money if they don't pay me. But who's on your side? Who's working for you? You're not going to pay more, because it's worked into their program that sometimes they pay realtors, sometimes they don't. But you need someone who's going to sit there with you and say, this is what that means. And you need them to say, hey, what happens if their house doesn't sell? Okay. You need them to say, don't you think we could get a little bit more back in concessions? That's what I do. Also, I keep in touch with the builder. I also send more pictures than they ever will. I can live stream for you. So no, you don't have to work directly with the builder, especially if I introduced you to the community. Now, here's another thing. If I introduce you to a community, you're going to be signed with me that I am representing you. And whatever commission they have decided to give me, that's what I get. I do not bump it up, because that's nasty, where I say to you, well, you've got to pay me the whole 3%, even if they're offering me 2, which some do. I got one closing like that now, and hey, it's money. I love it. So, oh, Michelle is saying, always get a realtor. My daughter got screwed over by a developer. Well, that's really sad. I would love to know what the actual reason was for that, because that'll be a good education for me. Absolutely. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame, because I really don't find them to be really deceitful. I find them just not to tell you the whole thing. And you have to say, what's the worst case scenario? What could happen if? You got to be really well versed in that. Now, one of my customers actually, I'll say, she told my broker on me, because I did not read her the contract and explain it to her. That I cannot do. I cannot read you a contract and explain it to you legally. Only a lawyer or the seller can. So my suggestion is, have me there so that I could say to you, would you explain this to them, because they may not fully grasp what we're talking about. And sometimes we go over it a couple of times to understand. So it's very important that I do not like it when people sign these contracts that are so big online, because they're not in the office. Make the time to come to the office and sign. That's very important. The other thing I would suggest to you is, and this has never been done, but if you're I'm thinking of doing a little run through of what the contracts say. Legally, I cannot tell you what the contracts say. I could say, what do you think they say? And what do you want it to say? That's what I do. Any percent of transactions, the realtor always works for the seller. No. Well, not here. Not here. We represent, I'm strictly, honestly, I've only listed 2 houses last year. I'm trying to get more into that. So if you know anybody who's selling around here, you tell them. But no, I actually represent, 1 year I did 100% just buyers. I usually do about 20 to 30 transactions a year. That based on last year, I think I'm going to do 30 this year. But I would say that I actually represent the buyer. Now, some people, my very first customer that I had, I'm going to tell you how this guy hurt himself. And I ended up not working with him. A young kid had 258 or something like that to buy a house. It's now valued at 450. He said, I don't really need to work with you, do I? I want to go directly to the seller's agent, because my daddy says, he didn't say it like that, but my father says, I get a better deal when I go directly to the seller's agent. Well, he didn't. and he actually lost the transaction. The house went up the next couple of months. The competing houses in the same category went up by $50,000. He was then priced out, and now they're at $450,000, and he's living probably still in the apartment that he had before. So I can negotiate for you. That's the whole deal. Here's the thing. How does someone who's representing the buyer and the seller at the same time negotiate with themselves? When I represent you, I've got a fiduciary responsibility not to reveal any of the information that you give me. So, for example, if you say to me, Victor, I can go up to $300,000 on this, but I know you could get it for $290,000. I'm not going to present that information to them. But if I'm representing the seller, I can say, you know what, I think they're going to go higher. And I've just sold you out. Absolutely sold you out. And I've got the deal. And then the seller agent, who also represents the buyer, becomes a transaction agent, and they get both ends of the deal. And they're the only ones that make out when they have both ends of the deal. That's not on new construction, that's on resale. As I said, in new construction, they work it, your commission, my commission, into the actual sale. Okay? So let's see. I'm Palms at Soranoa. What do you think the community would be entirely done? They're halfway through. So I would say to you, stuck in the 80s, beautiful. I would say to you that you could actually order the home 9 months before. 9 months before. 9 months before. You pick your home, order it. So maybe you could order it in 2022. That's around the corner. That's only 8-9 months away. So I would say you could order it, but just be sure you have to be able to pay it even if you haven't changed your job yet. Okay? So this is one of my buyers. Hello, Trisha. How are you? Let me see if I missed any of these comments up here. Oh, yes. Here we go from Adam B. Can I get a brand new townhouse or condo for $250K, Victor? It would depend on where we were looking. It would depend. That would not be your price point for Windermere. Winter Garden, there are no townhomes in Claremont that I can even think of, except for in a short-term rental community, and they're overpriced. And but Davenport, certain sections of Kissimmee. Did I post this one? I wouldn't even look for a new home without a realtor, but at the time, she told me they were looking at houses. It was too late to get a realtor at the place, and we brought it. So they had already signed the guest book without one. Yes, sometimes, and I've had customers do this. It's just okay. I'm out of luck. So if you go in without me and you sign their book without me and you say I don't have a realtor, I really can't even give you a lot of information because I'm getting involved with someone else's deal, but I can direct you to the right type of areas, like if you needed a lawyer or something like that. I certainly, but once someone is signed, that's why I tell people. Now, I had this happen recently. God bless this customer who I had given him a lot of information on the phone, and he went in there and he said, yes, Victor Inaraki is my agent. And he had my card and he wrote down all the information. And now I'm working with him as the thing is going to progress. It's going to be done probably in 9 months. Nice community. So That's out. That's out up here in Winter Garden, not far from me at all. So I'm still going to have some area where I'm working with him and helping him. So, to buy a home, do you have to have a job, or you can go off bank accounts that you have? Very interesting question. If you're paying full cash, they never ask you where you got that money. Now, if you're getting a loan, that's completely different. If you have a loan, that you have to show exactly what your income is for each month. Exactly. And they are meticulous about it. It's very, very annoying the way they look at all this stuff. With me, it was so bizarre because I had deposits and I had to show that I was depositing these checks that I was getting as commission. So say a check, they had one deposit that was $50 more. And they needed to know, the bank, where I got that $50 from. Sickening. And my sister was with me that day, and she said, well, don't you get $50 when someone you referred, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh yeah. So that was a relief because I don't remember where I got that money from. So, do you check construction progress for out-of-town clients? Constantly. Absolutely constantly. If any of you guys who are watching, here you go. Victor follows the progress from beginning to end. He is spectacular. I agree with both those points. So if it's in driving distance, I go out there as often as I can. If it's not in driving distance, if it's an hour away, I can't go out there, as often. But if I'm in the area, I'll drive by. And sometimes I'll call the agent and say, listen, they're a little anxious. Could you go take some pictures? And they'll go and they do that normally. But I like to take more elaborate pictures. I like to get some videos. Hey, and I'll even ask you if you mind if I go live stream, How does it work moving out of state? Do we get a loan based on what we make here? Okay. If you're going to have a job here, okay, I will tell you there's a lot of different scenarios if you're moving here. Okay, a lot of different scenarios. And we're going to play a video in just a little bit about one of the communities that I like. So there's a lot of different scenarios of how you can do this. Some people have bought homes and it's a second home. And as long as they can afford it, they don't have to prove where they're working. They just have to prove that they can afford that loan. Now, if you're moving here and you're going to be changing jobs, that's where it becomes a little sticky. If this is going to be your primary residence, you just have to. Now, I always say consult with a lender, and a lender who is Florida-based. If you're moving here. What I always say is just ask. Now, say you're going to be working here, but you're going to be, working from home, which a lot of my customers are doing now, a lot. So they can have a job in New Jersey, New York, wherever, and they work here. Well, that's fine. You just have to, the human resources department just has to say, yeah, it's fine that they work there, which I just had happen the other day. So you just have, if you're changing jobs, that's where it becomes very, very sticky. Because they're going to ask you, is it in the same profession? They want to see how many checks you've received, things like that. If you're paying cash, are you more likely to get your offer accepted within reason? Yes, absolutely. If you pay cash, now I got to tell you something. It depends on the seller's agent and the seller themselves, that they realize that it is much better to accept cash, because cash can close in 3 weeks, even less. I saw one that closed in 1 week. And loans have a long process to go through. And like, I had one that just closed on Friday, and the seller's agent was fill in the blank type of person. We couldn't get the human resources department to verify employment. And she was screaming at me that, this was my job, which it isn't my job. I don't verify employment. She even said, all they have to do is tick a box. And I said, yeah, they have to tick a box that says she's currently working. I don't tick boxes. So it was very upsetting to me, because I knew what the law was. And we had 10 extra days. You basically have 10 extra days of buffer if there's an issue with the loan. Yes, Jerry, over a person trying to get a loan. If I saw two together and I was representing the seller, I'd say, take the cash offer. Now, statistically, I'm really surprised when I run the numbers, because I always, go in there and play with numbers and try to see, and I did it once with one community where I looked at the offers that were cash and the offers that were a loan, and it wasn't a significant amount of difference. You would think it would be significantly lower, but it isn't. It was like less than 1% difference in what they accepted. And honestly, I think that is true. Also, but don't forget, when you're paying cash, you really need to know that you're getting the right price. So say something is worth appraised value $200,000, right? The lender's going to do an appraisal. And if the appraisal comes in lower than the $200,000 you offered, well, either you're going to have to pony up the difference, or they're going to have to reduce the price, or you're going to have to meet in the middle, or you're going to have to walk away, right? With a cash offer, there's no appraisal, so you don't get that second opinion of what the price could be. So on the other side of that, people who have cash always think they're going to get a lot more off. And it's just not going to work. Because at the closing desk, the seller gets cash. They don't get a loan. They're not going to be paid over time. They're paid cash that day. So anybody have any other questions? Hey, Tressa, thank you. Thank you. Let me see if I got everybody. I could get an appraisal on my own. I've never done that. Sure. And I would put it in the contract. I would say that we're going to hire somebody, and we're going to, and lenders know who to hire. I can go call my lenders and say, hey, do you have an appraiser? And I could go and have an appraisal, and I could add it to the contract that it needs to appraise. Now, if it doesn't appraise, you got those 4 things that you could do. Walk away, negotiate, pay the full price, reduce it. I recently had one that was with a loan, and the offer was $370. And the appraisal came in at $360. I don't think they properly priced the balcony that was on it, because the balcony was the the balcony was quite nice. It was a nice little feature that they had. So, but the seller, being a realtor himself, said, okay, we'll reduce it. And unfortunately, that house had needed to have a $300 or $400 cleaning job. But because it wasn't clean, there wasn't competitive offers. As I said when I first started. So our property tax is based on the sales price or the seller's tax bill. The sales price is what they're going to look at. They reevaluate it. Generally, your taxes are valued at 80%. In general, I'm not giving you about approximately 80% of the value. So if it's 200,000, they're looking at an appraised value of 160. Then they multiply that by the tax rate, and that's how your bill comes up. Now, don't forget, I will tell you, in Florida, we have excellent taxes here. I hope I don't lose power soon. Boy, is it raining. I'm glad I'm not live streaming with my camera right now. We have I think our taxes here are terrific. You don't have any state taxes here. Okay. And you can homestead. So like my customer that's buying right now, they're going to get a notice from the tax board saying, do you want a homestead? And they fill it out, and that reduces their taxes of about $750 for a primary residence. Okay, so let me see. Do you think condos in Celebration circa about 2,200 are value for the money? There are some nice ones in Celebration. There are some decent ones. You have to be very wary in Celebration. And I'm just going to tell you honestly from what I saw. There's a couple of buildings, but they're in the 360s that are very nice. Then there's a couple of ones that are all wood. They're managed by this company that is very negligent. Extremely, beyond negligent. Beyond negligent. It's beyond. And the things are just, the walls are falling apart. And I don't care if they fix it. I don't care, because they have to tear the whole thing down to get everything that's wrong with that place out. And I think that's, in some places, I think that's going to happen. Now, there are some that are fairly well built, that are competitively priced, but there's a lawsuit right now, and it's been going on for 12 years. So if you want to buy in Celebration, talk to me first, and I'll direct you to the right place. Exactly. If 345 offered 330 cash, that's a smart seller. Now, I hope it was worth 330, because sometimes they know they're overpriced. We did homestead, got approved, and we're waiting for our tax appraisal. It takes a year with new construction. Absolutely. It certainly does. I haven't seen that yet. I have not seen. I have sold more Del Webbs than any other builder that I worked with. I've sold, how many have I sold? I've sold 7 in one community, and that's never happened. We have never gotten into a bidding war at all. They offered the price, and then I've also said, well, do you think we can get a little off? Do you think you can call your sales manager? And that's where they say to me, well, are they willing to make a deal right now? And I say, yes, they are. And he goes and makes a phone call, tries to throw something in. I've had refrigerators thrown in. I've had, I've had reduced, not commissions. I've had concessions. I've had a couple of concessions extra. So anyway, so right now I want to show you another community. Do you know anything about Lakeland area? Honestly, I don't. Honestly, I don't, but I have a terrific agent that I work with out there. So if you're interested and you have to have someone when you work in a community. That's why I keep my community very tight. I only go to certain areas because I want to know certain things about it. Now, there's certain things I know that I don't reveal. Like if they have great schools, I don't really tell you that because I want you to do the research too. How much premium do you think a buyer is paying for a community like Oasis due to the proximity? I don't know. Oasis, which is one of the things I want to talk to you about today. Okay. Oasis is the new over 55 community that I think will be right now the roads they're building. It is 2 minutes to Disney World. 2 minutes tops. 2 miles, 2 minutes, it's right there. They have not introduced the prices yet, but I do feel that based on the fact that they're building in Sunbridge and they're starting in Sunbridge for $270 for the villas, I have a feeling the villas are going to start at $300. So I think they'll go from 300,000 to 500. That's what I'm guessing. So it's going to be a the thing is it's a very boutique community. It's so small. I think there's only 200 homes. They haven't announced anything about it, but I have a list of or add that one too. I have a list of 3 people that are interested in that right now. So if I have 3 people who are interested in it, that means there's a lot of people interested. Okay. So, but the Palms at Serenoa is just another 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 miles straight line. That's not bad. And those are all under, I think all under 350. Yes, that's what they tell me. That if you make improvements to your house later, like a pool and things like that, they don't get your taxes reevaluated if you've already homesteaded. That's what I've been told. I'm hoping that is true. It is easy to get a snowbird rental on properties. Are you saying you're to rent for 2-3 months at a time? I don't think that's difficult. You just have to pay the price for it. I mean, there's a lot of short-term rentals in Kissimmee, Davenport, and some parts of Claremont. The town has to allow it. The town has to allow it. Winter Garden does not allow it except for one hotel that does it, the Grove. If you're looking for an investment property, that's a really cool one because they can guarantee you your income for at least the first year. Okay, so I want to show you a section of another community. Okay, is this it? Is this it? Let me see. What the heck? Okay. Yes. Okay. So this is one of the homes in this community that I'm going to show you. This is in Mineola. Now, a house like this here in Winter Garden, I say that would be another $100,000. Okay. So Mineola being another 20 minutes out, is a really, I think it's a very, it's an interesting opportunity. Their HOA fees are less than $40 a month because they don't have a lot of features. They don't. They have a community pool. They have common areas, but and what's great about that community is Mineola is in the hills of Florida. We don't have hills here. It's the only place I know that has a little hill, but I'm going to show you this quick video. We won't show the whole thing. And then I'm going to sign off in about 5-10 minutes to celebratingflorida.com. Whoop, that's the end. You can get it with a 2-car or 3. It is locked. Okay. All right. And Gourmet Kitchen. Obviously, this is an upgrade. It's shown here with quartz. So this builder, I actually lived in a home by this builder when I first moved to. Oh, here I'm telling you, Central Florida. I lived in a Beezer home, and I really was happy with the way everything worked in there. It had great insulation. I love this backsplash. So you can see this video on my YouTube channel. Okay, so that's one of the homes, and that's in Mineola. So you do save a little when you go a little further up. And it's all brand new, just like here. And if you've got kids up in that area, I think you'll be impressed. This is all I'll say about schools, as I think you'd be impressed with the school ratings. I always tell people to check out the school ratings themselves. Don't take my word for it. So, does anybody else have any questions? I'm going to go through everything else. I had a lot of questions for today, so thank you. I'm going to try to go live in a little bit because they're doing a preview of this other community, which is called DBC Fair. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, do I have you signed up to see the Oasis? I hope so. Okay. So, okay, so yes, so I'm sorry, sometimes going back and forth. Maybe I should slow down. Jersey Mike! Jersey Mike! Hey, Jersey Mike, do you know I'm from Jersey? And I love your subs. Anyway. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. I see all your posts recently. Very interesting. Cherry Blossom Festival you're going to. So anyway, oh, and so that's my live stream for today. I plan to be out in the field, but if you see it, boy, I'd be soaking right now. Like my shirt. I got a little comment on my shirt. This is the mosaic. Let me show you. This is the mosaic wall at Epcot where they have soaring or the earth or something like that. I just saw the shirt and I went, oh my God, I got to get those colors. It's neat. So thank you very much. I'm going to try to go live again, and I'm going to do a live stream of something of a over 55 community that is introducing their new amenity center. I don't know if they're going to do it in this weather, but that's what I want to hear, Jersey Mike. Few years, I won't be retired yet. So, okay. So, anyway, one last question before I sign off, and I'm going to try to go back and do the other thing. Yeah, this was very impromptu. I really didn't have a lot of time to plan. Let me see if I get application window. Oh, let me show you this. Okay. All right. So, see this area right here? Okay. This red circle. Okay, right here. Huge area. Okay. Now, if you go over here, if you see I know you can't really see the dot thing, but if you go over here, that's where Disney is. Okay, this way. It's out in this direction. Okay. Now, this circle right here is right before Claremont. Claremont is out a little bit here. Okay. This area is a new development that's coming in. And what I've heard is there's 3 builders, including Ashton Woods and Taylor Morrison. So it's going to be a little bit higher end type, more, they sort of start in the 400s, 500s. Then this green circle right here, that's where the Oasis is. That's where it's coming into. So I think we're going to start seeing them pouring foundations in the next 2-3 months. So we'll really get a feel of the community, and we'll hopefully want to see some roads there too. But that is the two new areas. This one's really new. I mean, this one here is really, really new, the red circle. Because they've only just announced the purchase of the land. So I'm thinking several years out, because I wouldn't think they've already plotted the land if they didn't own it yet. So I'm thinking it's going to be a couple of years out. And then there's another community coming in right on Reams Road, but they're selling out as fast as they're coming. Okay, well, thank you so much for everything. I appreciate watching. I love having you guys watch. And thank you for being there. And I'm going to sign off. Thanks for everything. If you want to reach me, go to disneyatyourdoorstep.com. disneyatyourdoorstep.com, and you get all my links. There's like 6 different links there: YouTube, Facebook, website, email, everything right there. Let's see. Oh, here's some good questions. Is there a difference between a villa and a condo? Absolutely. They're not the same thing. Okay. A villa is in Florida is a unit that has another unit attached to it, which you do not own. 2 separate owners share a wall, sort of like a townhome, but with 2 units. Sometimes there's several more, sometimes. But it's like a 1-story townhome. So in that case, you own the land underneath. And a condo, you do not. So a condo goes through through a process where they have to make sure the lender Well, I don't know if you could still hear me, but thank you for watching. We had a brief power outage. Thank you so much. And the finishing to that question was a condo, they have to verify, the lender has to verify certain things. For example, is there a low owner occupancy? And if there's a low owner occupancy, or there's a rental facility on site, or there's a pending lawsuit, all those things, Hatbox Ghost, all those things will affect their approving a loan, a lender approving a loan. While a townhome or a villa, when you own the land underneath, is similar in loan process to a single family home. Okay, so thank you so much. Bye-bye. Making the dream of a Disney lifestyle a reality.